yes, I'm very surprised. I didn't have any thought of translations or success or prizes. I really liked the book when I was writing it, but I didn't expect anything. Generally, I think that success in this business is a matter of chance. But this book might have, hit a nerve somewhere. It's a little book about small things, and that is maybe, that is what people felt drawn to. And maybe, the theme with the memories and relations. I think people might be able to, they can maybe be able to relate to that.
I think there's definitely a lot of great Swedish fiction coming out, also in English. That wave sort of happened through Scandinavian noir and crime fiction first, but we're increasingly seeing those joined by more literary fiction as well. Like Ia, I'm a fan of Andrzej Tichy, who's translated by Nikki Smalley into English. I also love Johannes Anjuru. His books have been translated by Saskia Vogel, Nikki again, and Rachel Wilson Broyles. Another favorite that I would recommend that's been translated into English is Stolen by Ann-Helene Lestadius, also translated by Rachel Wilson Broyles. And I'll say that I'm very lucky to love all the authors that I'm translating as well. So yeah, those are some recommendations.
I wouldn't have been able to write a novel like this when at the age of 25, of course, because it's based on the experience of having different kind of deep relationships with people, and passion, and the experience of losing people and things like that, and also the experience of being a daughter and being a friend. But shortly, I'm a writer, and I write fiction, so there's no Alejandro walking around and in the world. But still, I mean, all the feelings that are connected to him, they are real.
To me, the professional thing is to be emotionally invested. I think I need to be emotionally invested for the translation to be any good. People sometimes compare translation to acting. So I have to step into the author's shoes and do my best to replicate what she's doing, but in English. So I tend to get quite emotionally involved, for sure. I would be lying if I said I didn't cry while translating the details, especially the final chapter.
For me, the idea of a book, or at the beginning of a book, the structure really comes with the idea, or when I start to write it. So I didn't spend so much time thinking about the structure, but in this case, the structure just unfolded as I was writing. So generally, I'm very fond of books that plays around a little bit with the structure or with the time or the chronology. So I'm very happy to be able to write like that.
We are already seeing AI used by some literary agencies who bring in a translator to sort of edit the machine-translated manuscript for less money than they would get translating the excerpt or the book themselves. I think a lot of editors, agents who truly care about literature will realize in time that that's not necessarily a good idea. AI is useful in many ways, but What it doesn't get is tone. And tone, to me, is the hallmark of a good translation. The precise rendition of that aspect of a book is individual to each translator. No two translations of the same work is going to look the same. And generative AI translations don't tend to be very good at capturing tone because the mechanism of AI, of course, is derivative. So that means that it smooths out, it pulls from many different sources to find sort of the lowest common denominator, which is bad news if your interest in reading is at least part the pleasure and surprise of language. And again, I think that editors, publishers, agencies, readers who care about literature will realize that a really good translation does require a human hand to do it.